Oh my gosh, Brian. Okay, so when you were young, your mother always taught you to appreciate the things you have in your life, correct? Be appreciative, be thankful, right?
Yes, that's
Two
correct.
two weeks in a row in this stream we've had Dota royalty. Last week we had Purge gamers co-casting with me. Okay, it's just one of my friends that sounds like Purge. Regardless, tonight, Brian joining you and I, we have Dota royalty in the house. Lurker Derp doing stats. Caitlin, welcome. She will do a fantastic job, as all of her colleagues have done this season. AD2L Season 10 Heroic League, we have PG Eclipse, Moribund eSports, semifinals.
10 seconds to
First
go.
match, man. Are you feeling the hype? Are you feeling the hype?
5 seconds.
I am feeling the hype. After last week's series and how just amazing those games were, I'm super excited to see this game because what a tournament means is that the next round of players are going to be as good or better than the previous games. So I'm ready to have my mind absolutely blown by what we see tonight.
10 seconds
Yeah, actually,
to go.
PG Eclipse, I casted them last night. They mentioned that there was like a
5
decent
seconds.
chance that it would be rescheduled, and then that decent chance turned into be, hey, can you cast in a few hours?
Reserve
So
time.
here we are. So last night they actually had two very, very powerful drafts, and they just steamrolled Ghost, and probably one of the most lopsided victories I've seen, at least in the playoffs so far. Regular season we saw plenty of dismantling of teams, but this
Yeah,
far
I
to
think
see that,
after the
yeah.
first round of the playoffs, everything really tightened up. We had some bad games the first round where we had a big skill disparity between the two teams, but ever since then it's been smooth sailing, and I think the games have just progressively been getting better and closer, and that's exactly what you want to see as you progress further in a tournament.
I agree. Well, I think this game is looking, maybe it looks pretty dead even, honestly, just
10
because
seconds to
both
go.
teams have just such unbelievable synergy.
5 seconds.
They're just so comfortable with so many heroes. The team works well. They work so well together, and it's just,
Reserve
and the heroes
time.
that they're picking. I mean, most of the picks are fairly meta, but it's just the way they use them too. It's so, you don't really expect this out of AD2L, but it's just some of these players are just out of their minds right now. And this is the time to do it. You want to be able to strike while the iron's hot, while you're on a hot streak, and obviously all the teams are if they're playing today. So we shall see, my friend.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of players play in sort of this mid-range of
10
MMRs,
seconds
and
to go.
you get a certain feeling for how these characters work and how the heroes
5 seconds.
interact and what they can do. And then you get to watch players play in a competitive environment who are actually really good at the
Reserve
game,
time.
and you see just how all of the synergies work together, and your mind just expands so
Dive
much at
ban.
what these characters can do in the right setting, right? And how much a simple TP can change a game. And these are things that not everyone realizes, but I can see it in full force. These players are mindful of not
10
only what they can
seconds to
do
go.
and what their opponents can do, but what their allies will be able to do as well.
Oh yeah, trust me,
5
they've
seconds.
been they've been watching one another quite
Dive
closely
ban.
these last few weeks. So both the teams they're pretty meta teams, like I mentioned before. They like to pick not necessarily flavors of the month, but just heroes that are very strong and you can really plan around and work around. I think the Zeus pick is something PG Eclipse have become very, very good at. They've also been able to pull some supports that are kind of untraditional, but they've been able to work very, very fluidly with the team. So the Night Stalker, not necessarily core,
10
but
seconds to go.
also able to run that in a support position. So Beastmaster,
seconds.
we've seen just run rampant. I mean, he gets a little bit of space. Like they give him an inch and he takes a mile. He has the
Reserve
Necro
time.
2-3 up, and then it just gets really, really hard, especially if you have an invisible unit or two on your team. So you'll see
I'm
him.
actually one.
What was that?
I'm actually wondering if this Night Stalker was a counterpick to the Beastmaster, just trying to deny the vision from the Hawk, with Night Stalker's natural nighttime vision decreases, and with his ultimate, just sort of be able to diminish what Beastmaster's able to do with vision, because at mid levels of play, you don't see the Hawk used as much, and you don't see it used nearly as effectively as we've seen a couple teams use it in this particular tournament. And it can really change the game if you have that little bit of extra vision. So I'm thinking that Night Stalker, in addition to just being a good aggressive support, might be a more specific pick to try and deny how much the Beastmaster can provide with that extra utility spell that often goes unused.
Well, that's not something we've really seen. I mean, the people, if they're picky, especially in the first phase, they're definitely very comfortable with it. I've seen Moribund be flawless at microwing with several of their players, so that's not really too big of a concern for me. I feel like I do agree with you. I think the Night Stalker is going to be huge at being able to counter out some of that vision. And I think they're really picking around it too. I think the Venge and the OD, they don't necessarily synergize too well, but it also two heroes that can grant you vision, and the OD just able just to kind of manipulate. He definitely, his positioning is really key for him. So being able to have that that upper hand with the vision, but I think that the next assassin is going to make that a lot more difficult too. I don't really care for the Nyx support. It takes him a little too long to hit that level 6, and it's just not as impactful. And the nice thing is you really don't need too much farm on him, to be honest, for him to be effective. So Blink and Aether Lens, maybe an Urn or something, perhaps. He's pretty much good to go. So.
Wow, a lot of focus on defensive supports for Moribund. I'm wondering what their last pick is going to be, just because they've already picked up 2 supports that, I mean, you can look at them as aggressive supports, but the way I see the draft panning out, they're kind of defensive supports. The Vengeful Spirit will try and help get some early kills on the Zeus between Magic Missile and how much damage OD does with his right clicks now. It's going to be fairly possible for them to pick up Zeus kills early game. But more than that, Vengeful Spirit's going to be able to counter-rotate when Night Stalker ganks, get some Magic Missiles off, maybe get swaps off when she's 6, and keep that OD alive as long as possible.
Yeah, I think that's the game
Dazzle,
plan
of course,
too,
yeah.
for sure. I think just keeping him upright and knowing that, I mean, obviously they still have, assuming a safe laner to pick here, so they have someone else that'll guarantee them more dependable damage, but the Outward Devour is really the key to the draft for them. So the Venge being there for the swap, and definitely Dazzle there for the heal and the Grave if necessary. So a lot of reserve time at BG Eclipse. They're really holding on to this last pick and ban here. They're running very low on time, so hopefully their last pick in mind.
Yeah, I think what they're thinking about is, does Moribund want to pick a safe lane carry that's going to be fighting really early, like a Blink Dagger character, or someone like Juggernaut who has fast magic immunity so he can just be in fights fairly safely? Or are they going to go for a really greedy draft? Because they do have the support to go for that really greedy draft. Beastmaster can make a lot of space, Dazzle and Vengeful Spirit, great at keeping people alive. So they could theoretically go after an OD and another farming type carry, but it's dangerous. And I think that going for the Juggernaut ban was the right thing, because PG Eclipse have a whole lot of killing potential.
I think they want Sven though. I mean, they're definitely lacking reliable stuns. They have silences, which is great. They have the mini stuns and the Void and the Thunderbolt, which is great. But other than the Nyx, which isn't necessarily reliable, I think they're lacking regular right-click damage and the stun. So I think Sven would be a nice pickup, but maybe they feel like with a 3 melee lineup. Oh, they're selling mayonnaise. They're selling mayonnaise.
Radiant's pick.
I was actually Ben for Moribund, because when I look at Moribund, I'm thinking, well, they have a Beastmaster who can initiate, and they have an OD who can kind of initiate, but would rather save Astral for himself. And Vengeful Spirit could use swap aggressively, but they kind of want to save that for OD. So picking up this Sven, he can get an early BKB, which makes him really bulky. Having a Blink Dagger to initiate with an AoE stun from the carry position, really strong. There it is, the Sven.
Yeah, he's too good of a hero.
And I like the Luna for, I like the Luna for PG Eclipse as well. The Lucian Beam gives them a lot more chase potential, and with the supports they've drafted, there's a lot of potential for running down Beastmaster kills. So I think that both teams made really good last picks.
Yeah, the Luna, I'm just worried it's just going to be too vulnerable and susceptible to the stuns, even post BKB. We'll see though, and I feel like the BKB is going to need to be something that comes online a lot earlier than you'd like to. I mean, typically you'd like to see at least a couple intermediate items first. But
I think the question is whether or not she goes S and Y, or she goes fast BKB.
Yeah, well, I mean, the metagame would definitely, I mean, honestly, even like Aquila Drums, and then I know you like to get the farming Yasha, but at the same time, I feel like, the stats might be necessary. And plus, if you have that, and eventually you upgrade to BOTs from the treads, you essentially have like haste-based movement speed. Just a small side note, the S and Y, and she's already, I think 330s her base. Yeah, she's like stupid fast. So Lance Rodriguez. We're doing shoutouts, Brian. You want to say hi to Mom? There we go. There's Mom right there. We're on TV! No. This is a big stage for both teams. PG Eclipse, after watching them last season, it's actually very impressive to see them just come back with such a vengeance. And I mean, the last couple weeks just watching him, it's just been a real pleasure. Moribund too. I mean, they took down a team that literally had not lost the entire season, regular and postseason. So both teams very, very deserving to be here. But this will be the last series for one of these teams. So.
Well, the last series for this tournament. I think we're both hoping that they'll be back for the next season of AD2L, because both of these teams have been an absolute joy to watch. Indeed.
Especially Curtis on the Dazzle with the best Dazzle set in the game. Look at that. Shadow Flame. Me gusta. Let's see what Nick's actually... Okay, so he's going to rush the Iron Talon, which I know that's been a fan favorite for the offlaners. Nick's not quite as great at taking advantage of that, but just kind of sensing that that's going to be a safe lane Sven, so it's going to be borderline impossible for him to stay in lane. So he's kind of committing to the lesser evil. Either stay in lane and I die, or I slowly jungle. So.
Yeah, I think that implies that he's going to be maxing Impale and going for mana boots just so he can clear camps, because without those two items, or without that item and that skill build, he really has no camp damage. So, you know, we're not going to see a lot of mana burn until later in the game, and honestly, you don't need to have mana burn to counter OD until later in the game when he starts becoming a monster.
I'm thinking more for Sven, just because his mana pool is just so garbage to begin with. I feel like that would be a lot more useful on him, because Sven, especially with the popularity of S and Y, drums possibly as well, possibly helping his mana pool. I mean, it's still pretty awful still. So that being said, Beastmaster also going to have a tough time, so it's not just Nyx.
Oh,
but
he's already skilled in Pale. This might be first blood because he's skilled in Pale.
Yeah,
no, the Sven didn't come up.
No, he could if he wanted to. Honestly, they really could. He hasn't skilled anything, so if they really wanted to, they could definitely have killed Cookie, but he's gonna live to impale another day.
Well, it makes sense, and I think that if they did that again now, the Sven would rotate up. I think they were trying to bait the Carapace, and they wanted to save Sven's mana, because again, he has that tiny mana pool. He has 1 stun at level 1.
Yeah.
So if he had thrown that out on the Carapace, that could have been devastating for their potential to pick up kills. But now that they've seen he has Impale, I think they'll be more willing to have Sven commit to a fight.
Yeah, that being said though, I mean, he's going to hit level 2 very, very shortly here, unless they can zone him out effectively, which it looks like they're just going to commit to the pulling of the lane, so not too big of a deal here. I think, yeah, he's going to hit level 2 after this creep, so he'll be okay.
Well, Beastmaster's struggling in the jungle right now.
Yeah, he's level 1 and he leveled the boar first, so with no quelling blade, no axes, yeah, both the offlaners are really going to have a difficult time, but safe laners trying to make the best of it. Luna 11 and 7 already, so should be selling mayonnaise very shortly here. Cookie again, very aggressive. I mean, honestly, they have 2 stuns, so if they really wanted to, they could definitely take him out. Looks like they'll just be okay to exchange blows here and force him to go through even more regen. Poison Touch will take him down a little bit lower, but just eat it.
Every tango he uses is one less time he's going to be able to farm that medium camp right next to him, even with the Iron Talon.
I don't even know if he can now, honestly. I mean, he has a quelling blade here to finish it, but it's gonna be so slow, and he's just gonna be wasting so much time. But like I said, less of the 2 evos, right?
Oh, Zeus is actually having a great lane against OD.
Yeah,
I'm really curious as to how this will play out over the course of the game.
They actually
mostly because I haven't seen it a lot.
Yeah, Rat Pack. They picked this for him last game. I think it was game 1, I believe. And he did the same thing. He put 2 points in the Arc Lightning for the added damage and the extra jump, so it makes sure to hit the OD no matter what. So.
Oh, we have a Beastmaster in trouble.
I think this will be first blood here. Does not go to the Luna, so no mayonnaise today. Skywrath will take the kill. I mean, that's just so much damage coming out. I mean, it's just so much burst. I mean, the nukes are only level 1 or 2, but still, when they're layered like that, there's not a whole lot you can do. So that will help out this tri lane very, very much. But yeah, I mean, Nyx, yeah, he's level 2. Beastmaster, I don't. I think he walked to well, so he picked up the Iron Talon, also level 2. So it's gonna be up for the rest of the team to help give them a little bit of breathing room here.
I know we've talked about the offlaners a lot, but I'd like to make one more touch on it. Beastmaster and Nyx, neither one really getting any farm this game. Who do you think is less farm dependent between the two?
That's a good question, and I would say probably Nyx. But I think the more pertinent question would be like who can do more with less, and I would say Beastmaster by far.
Okay.
Because that's the more I think that's the more realistic question here because.
Yes.
That's what's going to happen, I think. That's what's going to happen. We're going to see, like we said, I mean, they've already given up. Like, they're not even in their lanes anymore. They're done. And actually, with the Invis rune, he's going to find his counterpart here. Van
Just
Gogh.
soak a little EXP.
Yeah, he might as well. He actually hit level 3.
Get the faster level 3.
And he has his buddy rotate in here. Shade Slayer's actually going to be able to, they're going to be able to nuke him down. OD with early point in the ult actually just hits level 6 and is able to take him out, dropping the hammer. So 1-for-1 trade here in the Radiant jungle. I don't think Moribund want to stay here though. There's so much damage coming out here, and actually they can take them both down. Curtis very low, forced to grave himself, which will leave his OD. The selfish play, Curtis. And they'll both go down for his greed. So, yikes! Yeah, that's not how Moribund really wanted to play it. And I don't know that grave though, man. I think they both might have died anyway.
As a support player, probably. But as a support player, like as soon as I saw that grave go down, I was like, oh.
Yeah, I think Dazzle's my second or third most played hero, and it's never a good feeling when you do that, and then to see that your mid player still dies. It's just, yeah, it's kind of a damned if you do, damned if you don't kind of scenario though. It's like,
oh yeah,
it's probably gonna die either way, but yeah, now I just look like an asshole. He's the captain; he can get away with it. No, Sven's all by his lonesome here, so he's 30. He actually has 39 CS, so he's right on there up there with the Luna. Luna does have a little bit of assist gold though, because they were able to take down Beastmaster. And looks like more aggression here. Curtis way out of position here. And he was forced to grave himself again. Zeus will have an Arc Lightning ready, but I don't know if he'll be in range. Yes, he will. Nope, don't even need it. Skylar can finish him off there with one more attack. Shadeslayer taking a lot of damage, so it's nighttime. He can get the hell out of there at will. He'll be just fine.
I think we're going to see the urn come online pretty soon for Nightstalker here, and that's going to make Dazzle's life even worse because he's going to grave and he's going to have mana for a heal after that grave's over because the urn will take him out if he doesn't.
Yeah, it's kind of a subtle counter, but definitely something to keep in mind for later. Especially with how much he's been rotating already. I mean, he's already been a part of 5. He's 0, 0, and 5. Every single kill on the board. And there's your first Zeus ultimate. Blow up the jungling Beastmaster. And actually, with another Impale, the stun, all the nuke damage coming down on the Sven. He's all by himself, but he's quite fast. Not enough. Double kill for Rat Pack. Zeus already off to a fantastic start. 3-0-2, first ultimate of the game, very successful. They see Sven's all by himself, and they go down and they finish the job. So Luna, even more space. I mean, she's literally uncontested. So 52 CS already, doing a fantastic job. So we'll see which way she goes. Just treads Akala so far. Almost all of her regen still available, plus the Mango. So
she could definitely get away with an SNY this game. She has absolute free farm, so the BKB timing will still be fast enough to be very relevant the way this game's going.
Yeah.
And she might get a solo kill here. No,
oh,
not quite.
Maybe, yep. One more. Just to slow him down. Nope. Eventually get out, and actually Luna overstaying her welcome here. We have maybe an Astral here from the OD? Can't quite. Luna's just too fast.
To chase her out.
Luna's just too fast. Yeah, and they would need a couple more to commit, I think, for it too, especially since the Nyx was here too. Who's level 5? Okay, almost level 6 here. So looks like they have a glyph available, but that tower is going to be dead either way. Rotation in, Rat Pack here. Another ultimate up in 5 actually. So if they don't finish him off, Nope, Lucent Beam for the kill. Slendy with another clutch play. So, I mean, yeah, honestly, I think if Luna goes S and Y, I think they can just run him over at this point. I know
Yeah,
the
I think
score
so.
is kind of misleading. The game's actually not that far out of hand for Moribund right now, but it's slowly working its way toward that, I feel.
Yeah, they drafted things that could do this, but they just haven't been able to find space to get the tools they need. Beastmaster is still only level 4. He hasn't had any lane presence. Sven is doing very well, but he's still a long way away from being an unstoppable force that he needs to be. He needs to find a BKB, he needs to find a blink, he needs to find some kind of damage.
Oh my gosh, they paired up with the ultimate again, and Nyx is able to help get a kill there on the Dazzle. I don't think they'll have enough. No, they won't be able to finish off the bench here, but oh my gosh, Lightning Bolt, already level 4. A lot of damage coming out. I don't think that Shadeslayer wants to go in for that, so Odie will be able to make it back to his base, but I mean, they're just showing all this aggression. So much aggression.
But as aggressive as PG is playing, they're playing very reserved in terms of diving. They're aware that they're at an advantage, and they're trying to press it, but they're being very careful not to go too far and throw. And I think that's one thing that a lot of lower level teams might do, is that they'd say, "Oh, we're way ahead, we can dive towers," but we've only really seen one tower dive, and Luna got away from that unscathed.
Oh my gosh, the smoke is immediately popped. The Night Stalker with the haste rune just was kind of sitting around, and now they're very worried here. Ultimate again for Cookie, so he's gonna have a lot of damage. They're gonna be able, not gonna be able to take down the Dazzle right away. He's gonna grave himself for the 3rd time. Sven pops the God Strike. Astral actually just kind of get him alone, and they're actually gonna be able to burst him down, but it gives time for reinforcements to come. I don't know if Cookie wants to stay here though. Drop the hammer, might not have been necessary. I think one more auto attack would have been more than sufficient. And looks like the rest of the team will get out here. Zeus, on the other hand, he's still angry. He's actually got to finish Aether Lens if he wants to get off the courier, but... Oh, did they pop a sentry? Yes, they did. So, invisibility rune. He sticks around a little too long. Rat Pack on his 5th kill already, 504. And now he might be in a little bit of trouble here. Yep.
I think we can call that one the Caster's Curse. Right after I say, oh, they've been playing so safe with their aggression. Overextend a little bit.
Yeah, I think honestly, I think waiting for nighttime probably would have been the biggest key to that engagement. But yeah, I mean they popped the smoke. Maybe didn't even know they did it because it was by the tower, so kind of inadvertently did that, and then yeah, it was just kind of awkward overall, I think.
Yeah.
But
I think this is going to be bitten once, twice afraid, or once bitten, twice afraid. I think they're going to be a lot more careful going forward, and that might actually open up space for Moribund to get some additional farm and get themselves much more comfortably seated in the game. I don't want to say back in the game because they're certainly not out of it, especially after that.
Oh no, swing. Definitely not. But the Luna actually went for a full Helm of the Dominator, which kind of greedy. I mean, it's not terrible. Yeah, I mean, she was already farming to Heart's Content as it was. But I mean, Slendy, I don't know. I feel like that's, I don't know. It's underwhelming. And it's not, and they're not using it to stack the Ancients, so that's also kind of concerning, but.
Yeah, that's still
there's the swap stun, and she's going to try to get Eclipse off, but it's not even going to matter. And she's going to hold on to it, so no panic ult, luckily. So much speed, but. Uh-oh. The Warcry actually ends. We have a stun up in 1. Needs vision though. Oh, the jukes! Oh, the jukes!
Wow!
What a play! TP's out right in the tree line. Fantastic play by Slendy. And now Cookie actually the next popping is ultimate, so they might be able to get it. I think they can get this. He has the help behind him. He's waiting for his team. They're not as stealthy as he is. And okay, the Beastmaster waits a little bit too long here, and his team's rotating in. It is nighttime, so a lot of damage coming out, especially with the Zeus ultimate. And here comes Sven though. No God Strength available, but he's actually going to get a double kill on the Nyx and the Skywrath. So Curtis actually now able to be aggressive here. Uses the Poison Touch. Slade's trying to keep him away, but it's 4-on-1. He's going to try to get a kill on Curtis, but to no avail. So 1 for 3 trade, not ideal for PG Eclipse. So nighttime finally hits and throws begin. Huge gold change.
Yeah, they're getting a little bit too far
for this early in the game.
I thought that they would. Yeah, I thought that they would back off after that first fight went wrong, but They had no intention of doing so.
Yeah, and okay, so Luna will go back for the Yasha at least now. But it's just such a slow build-up, I think, with the Helm of the Dominator. I mean, that was like a full Yasha in gold that was just sitting there, and the Dominator's just I don't know. I think
She's not stacking
I'm
with it,
nitpicking.
which is the issue.
Yeah, that's. I mean, if you're gonna be greedy, be greedy,
yeah.
be efficient and greedy. You know, but.
Yeah, when I play Luna, I tend to go for the Helm of the Dominator first, just because I stack like a maniac with it. Oh yeah, I'm a very greedy hard carry. But I stack like a maniac with it. I'm constantly using it to move around and scout out enemy positions, and it's basically like a free mobile ward that can stack for you. So it's a great item to go if you have the space and you want to extend the game and get like extremely strong after a little while.
I mean, this mid tower is still not here, and they're still diving it. The Zeus is actually in pretty good position. He does have his ultimate, so if Nick's in a position here, double damage on the Night Stalker, so this will most likely result in the kill, but they just don't get the position that they want. And now they're going to pop Eclipse. They want Sven dead. Great grave by Curtis. He might go down. Yeah, one more Lucid Beam will finish him off, but... Oh, a long-range mana burn here from the Nyx. Cookie able to take him out, and that's 3. Lucid Beam stopping the TP, 4 down. Beastmaster putting a lot of pressure on the bottom tower, but his entire team just completely just wiped off the face of the earth here. Massive, massive golden XP change with that fight, and now they can push the T1. Finally.
Yeah, look at the wards they had up. They had all 3 of their wards committed behind enemy towers. That's
I mean, it is an aggressive lineup, but I mean, shit, take the tower, man.
That's really cool to be able to do.
Yeah.
You can't often pull that off. Oh, and they found a stack for free.
Yeah. Why? See, that's why Luna wasn't stacking. You knew there would be one here.
Just letting the opponents do it for her.
Well, now's maybe not the time,
there.
as everyone's respawned and Primal Roar is up. Sven is ready to go. He has everything in his kit. He has God Strength, and I think they're just gonna take this now, realizing that it's been scouted out. Yep. Commit the God Strength. Take the Ancients while you can. After the triple stack, it gets a little more difficult to stack anyway, so why not start over, right?
Yeah, it looks like Luna's finally grabbed a creep to go stack their Ancients, realizing that she can't just mooch off of the opposing team. Bernie Sanders for president.
Oh my god! 21.4% win rate, 3-11. Yikes! Wow, I never would have guessed that.
He seems like such an effective support, but I guess that you know, people are just having more effect with supports that have harder CC.
Yeah, I mean the silence is great, not necessarily against this team because Sven doesn't really care. OD's doesn't really care, and you don't really want to waste it on anybody other than maybe the Dazzle. I mean the Beastmaster's most likely going to get his off no matter what. He's had pretty good positioning, I think. So, but yeah, I mean it's. Eh.
It's actually really effective against OD because it blocks out Arcane Orb. So for the duration, OD's DPS is like tanked.
Pretty far back, but yeah, I think.
Yeah,
he's not going Dragonlance though, so he's not going Dragonlance. He went for the drums and got a Staff of Wizardry and a Cloak. So unless that's a new item that came out today, I do not know what that builds into. He may have missed patch notes. Not too sure. And okay, Night Stalker got the urn, and he's going right for the scepter. So they want that vision. They want to be able to have it for their own. And I mean, with how aggressive they've been, I think it fits perfectly. I mean, why not? I mean, yeah, look at these wards the entire game. It's just. I think Cookie notifies them that there is a sentry there. I do not want to go there anymore. Somebody do something about that, please.
My uncle lives there.
Is this still S and Y time, or do you think the Luna will go Manta? Uh-oh. Zeus, oh my gosh. Between those two ultimates alone,
look at that. That's mind games right there. Because they didn't even do anything with that. They just popped that to make Moribund run away, and now they have a free tower because Moribund didn't get to position on the tower. Right? They had no intention of fighting with that Night Stalker ult, or at least with the onset of that Night Stalker ult. They really just wanted to get in Moribund's head and play for this tower for free.
You're talking about mind games. Imagine these underfarmed cores or supports knowing that Vendetta and Zeus ult can take them out just like that. I mean, that's exactly what happened. This is the second time that's happened to the Beastmaster. I mean, he's 0-6. I mean, not been an easy game by any stretch of the imagination, but just knowing that you're trying to pick up just a little bit of gold and 3 clicks and you're dead. Vendetta, Impale, R for Zeus, game. Like, there's just not a whole lot you can do at that point, and it's still level 1 Vendetta. I know Rat Pack will actually, I think he has the finished Veil on the Courier now. Yes, nope. Yes, he does. Yes, he does. And Blink Dagger for the Nyx, so it's going to be really difficult now. As they are taking Roshan, and there's, I don't even think, even if they do know, they're not doing a damn thing about it. So that's going to be a free Aegis. Likely go on to Slendy here. Yes, it will. And I think it is a Manta, because yeah, there's the ultimate orb there on the Courier there. So Manta it
I
is.
think they're both really good items. Personally, I'm more a fan of the Manta, just because I think Luna's illusions can get ridiculously effective. But I know the SNY is sort of the meta thing to do right now. So, you know, good to have affirmation that both of those builds are still very viable.
Looks like they're gonna try to trade here. They take the T1 top and they're gonna TP back to base. They're not gonna bother defending the T2 mid. So tower for tower at this point, I think that Moribund's okay with that. They realize that they need a little bit more time. Sven just finished the SNY. BKB is a long ways away. So OD, I think that's just a casual cloak, which is okay. Cheap magic resistance against the Zeus, very understandable. 4 staff and drums finished on him, so. And looks like we might have a pause here. Yeah, see, we were doing so well. We didn't have any pauses for so long. We're due. We're definitely overdue.
Well, hopefully that issue gets resolved. But I don't think reconnecting will help deal with the EXP difference, which is really what I've been following, more so than the gold differential. We have a 10k gold difference, but the EXP is really more telling, and I think you hit on that when you mentioned the amount of, oh, it looks like we're having an effigy call out, but I think that's really what we were hinting at when you mentioned how quickly some of these characters die, is that the team EXP differences, just in terms of like towers and kill participation and stuff, is so different that those supports and even the offlaner on Moribund's team very vulnerable to the burst.
You just wanted me to check out his effigy. I didn't look at it last time. They're a lot better this time around because people actually know what to do, and I think they've added a lot more animations. I feel too. I mean, there's a couple years that had like 3 different idle animations or something. Like what? It's ridiculous. I just use Oracle just because he's just so awkward looking. Manta finished up on the Luna, so I mean the graphs are looking pretty scary. XP not as big, but yeah, that net worth, man, and they're gonna be able to outfarm them no matter what. Like, it's not like a fantastic farming team, but with all the map control, it's gonna be really hard not to outfarm them. Like,
I think the big thing about the EXP graph that's a little misleading is that Sven and OD are making up way more than the lion's share of the EXP gain on Moribund's team, and so it's the supports are really the ones that are hurting there.
Yeah, the distribution is just, it's been the issue early in the game, and it's going to continue to be. I mean, it's not easy because the supports just get blown up, as does the Beastmaster. It's just, they've been avoiding fights, which is the right thing to do, but now they're taking it to their base. They're at T3s now, the Manta Illusions start hitting the tower. I mean, Sunday has Aegis, not really concerned. If they really want to blow everything on her, they're more than welcome to. Koki holding the stun, make sure to get, oh, great job by the Nyx. And they're just gonna get the tower. I mean, they're kind of posturing like they want to fight, but Sven's not going in, OD's not going in. Slendy's gonna hold on to everything, wait for the Aegis. Oh my god, like, it's just blown up. The combination with the Zeus ult is just too damn crazy. The Venge is gonna go down, buyback by the OD. They finally pop the Aegis here. They've already used so much, the Sven's getting low. He's almost dead, actually. They're forced to grave him. There's the Eclipse from the Luna. Mostly hitting creeps. They might be able to get one more kill here, and Sven goes down. Looks like they'll take the Venge, die back there, and they're going right for the racks. Oh, one more. Luna able to take out the Beastmaster here. There's the ult drop, but really only gets the Night Stalker. They're okay with that. Dazzle takes out the Nyx before an objective gaming, baby.
Yeah, that was very much a statement fight, and they had Weave almost at the perfect time, right? Moribund engaged at basically their full strength. The Weave was at 3/4 when they went in, and PG just didn't really care.
No.
That was a great stun by the Nyx assassin to block out Primal Roar, so really good play there, and he just kind of skirted out while one of the biggest teamfight ultimates on Moribund was essentially wasted.
Yeah, he popped the Carap, he baited the Carap, the Roar, he popped Carapace, and there's your BKB. So, I mean, that was all pre-BKB. That was just the Aegis. Fantastic usage of it. And they have some time to farm out the map. I mean, they have every objective that they need right now. They have all the outer towers taken. Don't believe... Actually, is that a mistake? Moribund didn't use Glyph.
No, I don't believe that that's a mistake. I think they just held on to it.
Okay.
They recognized that they couldn't save those racks once they lost the fight, so they just decided to save it and see if they can hold this.
They're just not able to fight, and they know it, but they don't really have an option. When you're running at PG Eclipse is just running at you like that, they have the Aegis on deck.
Oh, good Hawk vision. Good Hawk vision.
There we go. So we get a nice Astral here. The team's behind them. I think they're ready to commit a few things for this. They know he's gonna pop. Do they have no vision? Oh my gosh. Oh
beautiful Carapace into Blink.
That was, and he's actually going right for the Scepter too, so plenty of time. We got 5.5 minutes until the next Roshan timer, so Aether Lens picked up on the Skywrath. Sunday, like I said, just picked up the BKB. Already 1300 on the Luna for Sunday, so Zeus looks like Refresher is going to be the next option, which I think is good. It's so much value there with Aether Lens, Veil, and the Refresher, as opposed to going like an Aghanim Scepter, so I like that a lot. It's good.
Yeah, without a doubt. And, you know, we've touched on it before, but the EXP difference is not going in Moribund's favor anytime soon, especially for the supports. They're all going to be kind of clumped up together, farming safely. Except for OD.
Oh, jeez. Speaking of OD, just absolutely obliterated. And they didn't really commit anything for it. I mean, yeah, I guess technically they used the Night Stalker out, but these are all short. Everything else was very short cooldown. So, poor OD just trying to get to the point where he can get the Blink Tagger or the BKB online, and it's just
no
it's not gonna
either. This is gonna be a GG pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean they're posturing like they might want to defend. They have things. I don't know, man. They can do the slow siege. Man. They have. I don't know how else to put it. Like they have tools at the ready, but without OD, it's just. I don't know. There's a swap in. We have the BKB. Tool. Eclipse is ready. The Luna. Oh my gosh. Luna just kind of tanks the Sven damage. The Susal just does so much damage in its own right. Eclipse zoning mostly does a lot of damage, but actually frees up a lot of room here. Yeah, oh my gosh, the Scepter's already finished here on the Nyx. He's going to be able to keep him at bay while they take the racks. They pop the dust on him, but it's too far away. He can just keep him stunned while they take the tower. They're hitting the racks. Manta Illusion's up again. The OD is in this time, and I think they're just happy with what they have. Another great stun by the Nyx. I mean, it's just so much damage coming out, and Zeus, he's just able to spam. He still has over half his mana pool. There comes the Veil again. Lucent Beam blows up the Beastmaster, and I think this might be time here.
Yeah.
This got the most awkward Steam group invitation. And they call GG, so it's too much. Pretty decided victory, I want to say. I mean,
yeah. Well, I don't think this is going to be indicative of the rest of the games we see between these two teams.
Not by any means.
No, because it was really about the way the lanes played out. I think I said earlier that Moribund needed to decide if they wanted to go for a safe kind of core or an aggressive kind of core, and they went for sort of a middle of the line thing, and I think the Sven was a good pick. But they didn't find any help for the Beastmaster, despite the fact that Sven had a free lane 1v1 against Nyx.
Yeah, I mean, you can't take advantage of that. It's just, I mean, it's...
Yeah, because they did that with the Luna. The Luna just chilled top because Beastmaster left. But if they had rotated the supports up to try and help Beastmaster, you know, maybe they would have gotten a little bit more out of that lane. Beastmaster would have had his ultimate faster. I mean, he was level 9. that's the same level as the supports. You got to find a way to help out your offlaner a little bit more, despite the fact that Beastmaster just has to get 6 and push R. He still has to get 6 to push R.
Yeah, in theory, yeah. I mean, the Beastmaster was core, but he certainly was just kind of, he felt like a support, honestly, based on his impact, his farm. I mean, it's just, yeah, you can't do a whole lot when you've just been dumpstered like that. But it's just game 1.
Well,
It takes 2 to knock people out. We're best of 3 here, so Moribund get another chance to kind of take a quick break and just mentally fix the errors and then get back into the second draft. So it's not all over yet. We're hoping for a 3-game series here. There's 2 very talented teams, and like you said, it's definitely not indicative of how the series will go. So we'll take a quick break, and game 2 is right away. One moment.